As you can see, I'm standing here on the CG driving range, and I'm here today to give you an update on the progress of the project out on the golf course and here on the range. There's been a lot of work going on over the last couple months, and we're making awesome progress, and I'm super excited to kind of give you a little sneak peek into what we're doing. Right behind me here, I'm standing right on the back edge of what will be the new driving range tee down here at the very, what I call the west end or the main end, the end closest to the range house. We've got a nice expansive area, an area that we're going to be able to use the entire area, unlike the old tee that we had where we had the back corner that we weren't able to use. We've gained roughly about 10,000 more square feet of turf down here, which will be vital for us with turf rejuvenation and recovery with all the use. Also, you'll see we have a new practice putting green shaped in, just roughed in on the back corner here right in front of the range house. This will be the new putting green that will replace the one that was over by the parking lot. This area was the area that we were unable to use on the back of the driving range tee, so we have converted into a really nice big, about 11,000 square foot putting green. Over by where the putting green used to be is our new chipping area. We have a nice now area to chip from with a green slightly elevated up, which is ideal for chipping and practicing. The new green is staked in and shaped in right there and roughed in as well. So this will be a huge improvement over what we had before when we had that little chipping area and you could maybe chip some balls down into the creek and whatnot. Now you will turn and you will not be chipping. You will be chipping the other way, and there shouldn't be any more golf balls hopefully down into that creek for John and his team to pick up. The old dog park is gone, as most of you have seen, and we have created a new sand practice area over in that area now. So if you remember in my presentations, I talked about the old sand area. Depending on who was in that bunker, you may have to duck sometimes driving by on the cart path. The cart path now swings around behind this area, and when you hit balls in the sand area, they will come out onto the range area and be out to where it'll be a lot more safer for people to be around there and make it a better practice experience for you, the members. Also, you'll notice big cart paths around this. We have 20-foot cart paths all the way around these facilities because of all the traffic and people parking and everything, so we should have ample opportunity. Then out on the range floor, out behind me on the actual range floor, you don't see it now because we don't have it completely done, but you will see that we'll have brand new target greens, which will be a lot better looking and more attractive to us to hit. We'll have a fairway down the center as well, which will give you an aiming point to work on your game. And then the thing I'm most excited for is you'll see a ton of dirt piled up over on the right side that we've talked about it. All that dirt's going to be pushed over the range and give us that nice 7 inches of good growing material for the turf. No more growing turf on rock like we used to do. I'm super excited. At the far end, or what I call the east end, we have another tee that we've built down there that we've expanded and got a lot more useful area down there. Gonna have a nice big putting green back at that end for you to use as well. The short game area that used to be kind of down in that low area is gone, and that'll all be turf area for the new range. And we'll have about 330 yards from front of tee to front of tee of hitting space as well. So should be ample room for almost all of our players. And looking forward to getting you all out here, but just wanted to show you a little bit of this. Now let's go see what else we got in store. I'm standing here at the entrance into the pump station. If anybody took the tours with me before we started or during our presentations, you remember me talking about this is where we get our city water supply, is through the floor here. And we had a valve in here that my team was having to crawl down here every day and literally run a manual valve, open and close it to then allow water into the pond. We have since replaced that and got all the new pieces installed here, so now we have the capabilities like all of our other valves to be able to control it remotely and run that valve on and off in the evenings as we're bringing the water up. We've got our new pump station installed, and man, are we excited for it. The capabilities of this pump station are so far superior to everything that we had before. Starting with this new pump station cabinet. This is the brains of the pump station. I talked about that many times on the old one, about how it was out of date and inefficient. We weren't able to dial in control it remotely or any of that stuff, and now we can. This cabinet allows us to have connection with the pump station through our mobile devices, and when we have a leak out on the golf course, the central computer and the pump station will communicate together, and the pump station will readjust or shut down depending on what the computer tells it, which is way different than what we had before when it all relied on us to be here. So if we had a leak overnight, we'd lose a bunch of water overnight until we came in the morning to actually see it and shut it down. Now we have the capabilities now for the automated pump station to do it itself. Big improvement. You'll also notice the compact nature of the new pumps over here in the motors. It's like anything, computers, anything else. After 35 years of one technology, they're able to make it a lot more efficient and compact, a lot more, but we didn't lose any capabilities. We actually gained in our pumping power, so we can actually pump about 2,500 gallons a minute out of this station now, which we were only able to do about 1,500 to 1,900 before. So another big improvement. The other improvement we're going to have now is we're going to have a consistent pressure out on the golf course with the new pump stations, which will allow our irrigation efficiency to be even better. So a lot of positives in here we're super excited for. Let's go see what's next. All right, last stop on our tour today. I'm here on number 1 green. This has been the first hole that we started the whole construction process on, and it's the hole that we're the furthest along. With all the recent rains we've had a little minor washing, so you'll see some areas behind me where it looks like that. The contractor will get those dressed up here really, really quickly, but we are in the midst of prepping for sod to go down around these green surrounds and seed on some of these greens starting at the end of February. So what you will see back behind me is the team is putting around the pop-up irrigation around the bunkers. And why is that important? Well, that's important because, as I've talked about before, trying to pull as much water out of the bunkers so we're not having wet bunkers all the time. So that is the small pop-up irrigation going in around the edge that will only water the banks of the bunkers and will eliminate a lot of the overspray of the bigger heads, which should help with our bunker playability, which I'm excited for, and I know a lot of you members will be as well. Also here is the putting green. We've got the putting green completely filled up with the mix, and they've floated it one time. Obviously the storm moved that around. So this putting green is sitting ready for about a final float. Once we start doing the sodding, we'll sod the green surround first, and then we'll come in, we'll float the green, and then my team will be seeding the greens, like I said, hopefully starting towards the end of February, as long as this crazy weather pattern we are in doesn't continue with the cold and wet weather. But our plan is to go ahead at the end of the month and start sodding and prepping. So I just wanted to show you that final preparations here on just the green surrounds. We're not going to do any of the fairways or any of the tees until later, like down in the May-June timeline, but just focusing on the green surrounds so that we can get the greens in, since they're a cool season turf. All the turf around the outside will be warm season, but the cool season turf, we got to have some growing time before we open in September. So hope this today gave you a little glimpse into the progress. We're super excited. We're well on plan, well on budget, and looking forward to sharing this with you members here in September.